Did you know that skeletons are building a new city in the Deadlands? Have you seen the skeleton who comes here for supplies? Did you know that robots keep a live animal with them? About such conversations and rumors circulated at the way station near the Deadlands. And it's no wonder. Rumors spread very quickly, especially those rumors that excite the minds of ordinary residents, and our robots grumbled a little something like, "We wanted to keep everything a secret, but it turned out as always. We should have killed those traitors." But then they calmed down. There was too much work to be done in their new settlement. By the way, the settlement was called Core. A funny incident happened. Hex, as the chief engineer, decided to build a wind turbine on the roof of the building. He built it. He worked on it for several days. And when he finished it, the wind turbine didn't work. Hex missed one small but very important detail. There was no wind in the valley. At all. It turned out awkward. The skeleton settlement was expanding. A tower and several large wind turbines, which, by the way, worked, were erected on one of the hills. The wind turbine that Hex could not start was moved to the roof of the tower. He thought the problem was a lack of height. But as it turned out, it was not so simple. The small generator flatly refused to work. The small generator isn't working again?
Yes, Your Majesty.
That's no surprise.
What do you mean? Salo, did you figure something out?
I didn't figure it out. I see the reason for the generator's failure.
And what is it?
When was the last time you switched your vision mode?
A couple of 100 years ago. Which mode should I switch to?
EMP, of course.
Wow, how it's buzzing. What's causing this?
I don't know.
Salo, you're a stupid blockhead. You saw it all the time and kept quiet?
Well, I didn't realize it right away.
Stupid soldier. Reinhard, I'll need to strengthen the shielding of all our electronics. It'll take a couple of days. And after that, it would be nice to go to the city. Ask how they generate electricity.
As soon as you finish, we'll go. We need to sell goods and look for blueprints. What I studied and downloaded won't work in the current realities. We don't have the necessary resources.
What can you create or build, Your Majesty?
Not so much. A fusion reactor, a space shuttle, process plasteel metals, create nanocutters, and so on.
Holy crap. That's what it means to be nobility.
Only in the current realities and level of technological development are my knowledge and skills almost worthless. Here we can only use 0.5% of my knowledge and skills.
It's kind of offensive.
Well, never mind. We'll get it all back. And for now, we have a lot of work to do. With the advent of a stable energy source in Core, opportunities also expanded. Floodlights were installed to illuminate the territory at night. Not all skeletons had built-in night vision. This accelerated work and resource production exponentially. The total electricity generation was enough to build an automated system for mining and smelting scrap metal. True, the design of this machine took a lot of time. A backup substation with a large battery capacity was erected, which in turn made it possible not to fear power outages. The existing machines for processing iron ore and producing building materials were also improved. Such large equipment could now be controlled by one robot. The settlement had its own forge, its own workshop for the production of electronics, and most importantly, a workshop for the manufacture of repair kits. Core will now be less dependent on supplies from other cities, and the surplus materials can be sold. As previously agreed, the squad set out for the skeleton capital. Trade and information. It was necessary to find out where the skeletons of the Black Desert get their energy from.
Hex, are you coming?
Yes.
The Black Desert was still silent. Not a shadow of its former greatness remained. The former capital, the former main spaceport of the Empire on this planet. Now, all that remains are the lifeless skeletons of buildings, ships, equipment, and skeletons. The squad under Reinhard's command went to the tavern.
Greetings, Your Majesty.
Greetings to you.
Your new settlement inspires a long-lost hope. We await the moment when you call upon us.
I hope it happens soon. In the meantime, answer my question. Where do you get electricity with such strong EMP radiation?
Here's the thing, Your Majesty. As you know, When the great betrayal happened, we had no choice but to retreat to the capital. That is, to our present city.
I know this part of the story. True, I was on another continent myself.
Well, so there. We retreated to the city and tried to evacuate from the planet, but our ship was shot down and it crashed. Everyone scattered. Many died. But after a while, we began to return to the capital. There was a handful of skeleton engineers left who rebuilt the ship's reactor, and now we have been living on its energy for several thousand years. True, burning synthetic fuel releases a lot of pollution, toxins, and EMP pulses.
As I understand it, that web of pipes that surrounds the city is the huge generator?
Exactly so, Your Majesty.
Now it's clear why there is so much pollution here. And there's toxic rain. And how do you protect the power supply system from EMP radiation?
I don't know that. You'd better ask the guys from the ship. They handle that and maintain the generator's operation.
I understand you. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
While the others scattered around the city on their business, Reinhard went to the ship.
I'm tired of being locked up in here. Let me out.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but no. You are too young and inexperienced.
I command you to release me.
Your orders are worthless in this place. Ah. Your Majesty. Reinhard. Welcome. To what do I owe your visit?
Greetings, Stark. And trade and information brought me to you.
Very well. What are you interested in?
I'm interested in how you generate energy. How do you protect your electronics from EMP?
Well, it's all simple. I can upload all the available information on this topic to you. And what about trade?
Need blueprints and materials.
I understand. Building in the current conditions and from these materials is quite a difficult task.
Stark, listen. I want.
Leave me alone, kid. I don't have time for you right now.
Okay.
Why are you being so harsh on him?
I've been listening to his whining for a couple of centuries now. It's starting to get annoying.
What is his lineage?
Well, it's hard to say. Their coronation was supposed to take place on the day of the Great Betrayal. So he is of no lineage. He has no name.
It's all very sad.
That's an understatement. Listen, Reinhard, take him. He's already annoying me. You need workers and warriors, right?
Yes.
This kid is a bit arrogant, of course, but I think you'll handle him and teach him a lesson.
That can be arranged.
That's good. Hey kid, come here.
First, you tell me to leave you alone. Then you tell me to come here. Am I your slave or something?
Shut your mouth. Look, this is Reinhard. His family owns the planet.
Really?
True.
Holy. Hello.
Now listen, kid. Reinhard will take you with him. But I advise you not to be cocky, or you'll get what's coming to you.
Of course.
That's good. At least you'll stop bothering me here.
After trading and exchanging information, the squad returned to base. It was decided to build a separate building and cover its roof with modified wind turbines. The boy was assigned to Salo. Reinhard asked to raise and train him.
We'll do it.
Salo replied curtly, and took the newcomer with him to the quarry.
Dig.
No way.
I thought we could come to an agreement. You're a smart kid.
A couple of days later, 2 skeletons came to the settlement. They brought a robot loader with them. Hex asked them for this service.
Well, what do you say, Hex? Can you fix it?
Honestly? Yes. There's nothing complicated here. These loaders used to haul containers from cargo ships. Just what we need.
And what do you want to do with them?
Well, so that they wouldn't be loaders, but fighters. They are heavy. If one of them hits, it won't be pretty. It will be easier to defend the territory if there are a dozen of them. They can also be sent on patrol. They just need their brains reprogrammed.
Reprogram their brains? So turn on their defense mode?
Yes,
Just make sure he doesn't attack us.
it's not difficult.
And what is your name?
We have no names, Your Majesty. If you give them to us, we would be grateful.
I'll think about it.
We are grateful.
I see you are shooters.
Affirmative.
Can you build a new crossbow from scratch?
If there are materials, there shouldn't be any problems. But a workshop will be needed.
We'll take care of that. Hex, how long will it roughly take to restore the robot?
I can't say for sure. They are all in varying degrees of wear and tear and damage differently.
Then call me when you're done.
Of course.
A couple of days later, Hex called Reinhardt.
Well, what can I say? I fixed it. I restored the hydraulics, electronics, and internal brains. I added a friend or foe system. Now it can patrol our territory.
Well done. Can you remake the same one, but for other tasks?
Depends on what's needed.
We need a robot that can move quickly, carry heavy weight, and defend itself when necessary.
So we need a combat carrier robot?
Yes. Bull is already old. I don't want to bother him, but it would be nice to assemble a caravan of such machines.
I understand. I'll come up with something.
While Hex was busy developing the pack robot, the skeletons set up the production of electronics and microchips.
Hex, did you call?
Yes, I have finished the work. I present to you the iron skimmer.
Holy shit.
Salo couldn't contain his emotions.
I completely redesigned the base of the loader robot, redesigned new claws, redesigned the chassis. It's good that it was originally designed for heavy loads. Well, I added a large barrel as a place for transporting goods. In general, I assembled all this from improvised materials. This machine moves much faster than a loader, and it hits very hard.
Well done, Hex.
Thank you, Salo. It's rare to hear praise from you.
Get lost.
Hex,
Yes, Your Majesty.
how many of these robots can you make right now?
From the available materials? 4 or 5 skimmers. No more.
Get to it.
Roger that.
While Hex was busy developing the pack robot, the skeletons set up the production of electronics and microchips.
I won't let you through, Reinhard.
Why?
I'm very worried about your pets.
What's wrong with them?
They're skimmers, robots.
Yes.
Skimmers are ordered to be killed, not allowed into the city.
How righteous you are.
Orders are orders.
Don't worry. They're completely under my control.
I understand that, but still I can't let such creatures into the city.
The argument with the guard chief at the city gates had been going on for over an hour. The approach of the skimmers to the city caused quite a stir. The guards on the city walls saw how, from the sandstorm, first one silhouette appeared, then a second, then a third. A group of rippers was approaching the city. The guards immediately took their positions behind the stationary crossbows on the walls. They brought up reserves. But there was something strange about these skimmers. They moved unnaturally, heavily and monotonously. Moreover, they noticed the silhouette of a person among them.
A what? Commander, do we shoot?
No. Wait. Let them approach, but don't take your eyes off them. Yes, sir.
Reinhard, with his steel caravan, arrived in Hang. Hex, as agreed, modified the skimmers. He assembled and installed large tanks on them, the volume of which allowed the rippers to be loaded with a huge amount of goods. The fact that the skimmers were assembled on the basis of old loaders also played into their hands, which allowed not to waste time on strengthening and reinforcing the moving parts. One at a time.
One at a time. Fine. Leave the rest by the gate. They'll wait for you here, under our watch.
Deal.
You sure know how to persuade people, Reinhard.
It's my job. Reinhard walked into the city. The skimmers followed him one by one. Each of them was searched at the entrance, as agreed. Only one skimmer went with the skeleton. He left the rest by the city gate under the guards' watch. The locals and the guards began to examine the old machines with interest.
Hello, Reinhard.
The merchant smiled broadly.
It's been a while since I've seen you. I hear you're building a city with other skeletons.
Hello, Bo. News travels fast.
I won't ask you what you need it for. I'm interested in something else.
The merchant's gaze changed. He began to look at Reinhard with predatory eyes. The eyes of a hungry bone dog. And it was clear that he would not let go of his prey. You're still the same, Bo. Always down to business. The merchant smiled back.
Well, what brought you to me?
150 new circuit boards, 300 iron plates, 200 units of building materials, 200 units of iron ore, and the same amount of copper ore. 30 old processors.
Well, that's a large volume, of course. It will be difficult to sell all of it. Such deals are extremely rare.
Bo didn't even bat an eye. He immediately started bargaining.
Perhaps 60,000. Maybe even 65.
You're still a funny guy, Bo, Reinhard said, joining the discussion. 150,000.
I'm completely serious. Think about it. We'll need to find a warehouse for all this, reload it, and guard it. 70,000.
I came to you as an old friend. I thought old Bo would help me. But he. 140,000.
Reinhard, come on, give me a break. You know how hard it is to make a living as a merchant. Caravans are constantly being robbed. Taxes are a killer. And the guard are always looking for a handout. 80,000.
You understand that I can handle all of this myself. Sell all the goods I have. I have plenty of time. My caravan doesn't need to eat, drink, sleep, or rest. 130,000. Bo gave a heavy sigh.
How about this? I'll pay you 100,000 for the whole lot, as a favor to an old friend. And I'll handle all the deliveries from now on.
I agree. You haven't lost your touch. Although you're not a very good actor. You wanted exclusive trading rights with me from the start, didn't you? Bo's smile returned, and his eyes were friendly again.
Absolutely. You know, I'm not going to let a good deal slip through my fingers. And you got what you wanted too, right, Reinhard?
What are you talking about?
Don't pretend. Even though you don't have a face, it's written all over it. You're happy with the deal. You secured a steady source for selling your goods.
Maybe.
All right then. Bring all your skimmers here. I'll gather the money in the meantime.
I suppose it's pointless to ask how you found out about my pack animals, right? Bo shrugged it off.
We've known each other for years, haven't we?
Bo, through the Merchants Guild, obtained permission for the skimmers to pass further into the city, closer to the warehouse. It took several days to unload, and the rippers were loaded in a special way, on Bo's advice. The money was divided into equal parts and loaded into each ripper. If something happened along the way, the chance of losing everything was close to zero. Thus, a trade agreement was concluded between the skeletons and the Merchants Guild. This concerned the official part, and the unofficial part consisted of something else. Reinhard asked Bo for a favor. All of the latter's trade caravans, upon meeting with the skeletons, were to pass on a message to them. Extend your hands to the light. We await you in the Deadlands.
That's a weird request, but I'll take care of it.
And one more thing, Bo.
What is it?
Please make sure our goods don't fall into the hands of the Holy Nation.
Buffed. You didn't even need to mention it. Those bastards won't get a single cat from my caravans.
Hello, friends. If you enjoy my story and want it to continue developing, you can support me on Boosty. There you'll find exclusive content, the opportunity to influence the plot, and much more. Your support is very important to me, and I will be immensely grateful to you. Links are in the description or channel header, and now I am grateful to these people